Welcome back. Rick Zabrak from Fairfield County Director of Economic and Workforce Development joining us this midday, or not midday, it's 9:30 in the morning.
It's
our
for
midday.
Us. Yeah. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for getting my name right. It's not an easy one, so I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
We've been trying. So,
I'm a little Polish, so.
All right.
So Fairfield County has the Workforce Center, and it is a great program down there, really getting this next generation trained up to do trade skills. And it's immensely important because we know that is, especially here in Central Ohio, as we've talked about these data centers, we need the labor force to build them, the labor force to maintain them. There was quite the graduating class that just came out of this, right?
Yeah, so we're in our 5th year, and we just had 101 students graduate. These are high school seniors. It's about 6% of the high school seniors in all of Fairfield County that now are coming to the Workforce Center in just our 5th year to really get an opportunity to learn about whether it's healthcare, manufacturing, or construction. Construction is the most popular of the three, but they're all pathways to really good careers that the best thing about those careers are, we kind of looked at that like an off-ramp and an on-ramp. You're kind of going down that highway of learning, and you can jump off and work for a couple of years, and you can jump back on and continue to get certificates, degrees, whatever it is to help you upskill, and move forward in your career.
And go ahead.
We were just talking about how a lot of these younger, this younger generation, they have to make this decision around 15. How do you help them navigate that?
Yeah, so if you know when you're 15 years old what you want to do, which I don't know if we still all know what we want to do, speaking for myself, is you go to career tech school and you say, I want to be an electrician. And at that point, your path is sort of determined. And, you have other options that you can do after that, but that's a big commitment. So there are a lot of students that don't want to make the commitment at that age. So what we do is we wait until their senior year. And the students that, we call them the oh crap students, where they hit their senior year, maybe thought they were going to go to college and they decided it's not for them, or, they weren't sure what path they wanted. And this gives them a chance to get a skill before they graduate high school, because once they graduate high school, it's really hard to engage, young people.
Mm-hmm.
And, looking at the program and the track of these workforce centers, just like this one, it's more involved than maybe the high school shop class that was available when we were in school. This is really getting the hands-on full experience that you're going to learn some of those initial steps to start that apprenticeship program.
So part of the cool things are, you go to a career tech school, you're going to get, 2 years of really strong learning. You're going to have a leg up on others. What we want to do is to grab that second group, that second tier of students to come in and get that training. And part of what's great is they're being trained by college instructors, and they're getting college credits through Hocking College or Ohio University through these programs. So they're having an opportunity to continue their learning if they choose. We probably had about 30% choose to continue on to college. But for them, a lot of it was college doesn't look like the way they thought it was. So, you think about college, you think you're sitting in a lecture hall with 200 people. You're not standing, at a CNC machine programming things and watching something get built, or you're not working with tools and using your hands or in a small lab. And for a lot of our students, they see that and they're like, wait a minute. This is what college could look like? Oh, maybe this is for me, because I didn't want to sit in another lecture hall with a textbook all day again. Mm-hmm. I want something where I'm up and moving and using my hands. And this is showing them a side of college that I don't think they know existed.
Right. And I feel like the millennial generation, they all just kind of, went to college, took on that debt. Do you feel like this next generation is realizing that there is success by not going to college, and they can, start making that money relatively quickly instead of, hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt?
Yeah, and it's trying to find that balance, because, we don't want it to tilt too far one way, because we need people following and getting these degrees. But, what we do is we also do financial literacy. So if they do make that money, because you got people making 60, 70 grand a year at age 20, we want them to know how to use it and not spend it all. And ultimately, with housing and the price of housing, we want them to not have to live in their parents' basement until they're 25 years old,
Amen.
As do the parents. So, we really, we look at it holistically, not just for giving you training for a certain skill, we're giving you training for life.
Yeah. And, some people might be thinking, why are we talking about this? School's done for this semester. We're now in, summer break, but you guys don't stop. There's summer camps to really start piquing that interest among even younger students. I mean, we're talking middle schoolers as well. That talk to me a little bit about these summer camps that we've got.
Yeah,
coming
so they're free, and the goal is for these junior high students, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, to come in and learn a little bit about each of those, healthcare, manufacturing, construction, get this hands-on training. And we really want to build that interest level to show them, hey, this can be fun. But the best part is on Fridays, the parents come in and the students get to show them, hey, this is what I learned. This is how cool this stuff I did. I made this robot. Isn't this awesome? And then we bring somebody from industry in to talk to those students to say, hey, this is a great career, and the parents are like asking questions. We had a owner of a construction company in last year, and one of the grandparents said, my granddaughter is really into construction. Can girls go into construction careers? And he almost lost his head, and he's like, okay, first off, thank you for asking that, but I can't wait for a day where nobody has to ask that. But yes, by all means, they can, and it's a great career path, and we need more women in construction trades. And it's that connection that hopefully these parents, these grandparents, these guardians see, where they can encourage their students to maybe find a different pathway than the traditional college one, because that does not work for the majority of the people in Ohio, actually.
And that's okay. I think that's like something that we have to continue getting across. And not everyone learns the same way, and it's okay to take a different path. But talk to us about you have 1-day events, right? Level Up?
Yeah, so these are so we had so much interest in our junior high programs that some of those parents were like, hey, I wish our kid could come back for something a little more intense. So we're doing like a drone training program for a day to take some of the students that have gone through this before that want to come back and learn something maybe a little more high tech, a little more intense that we might not trust a 6th or 7th grader doing, something that, a 9th grader could come in and get their hands dirty and go, oh, this is really cool, and really help with their learning and their excitement in these careers.
So where can people go to find out more information?
Go to fairfieldcountyworkforce.com, and that'll give you all the information of our adult programs, our high school programs, and our junior high programs, which and these are all paid for and sponsored by the Fairfield County Commissioners, who have leaned fully in on this and realizing that our economic development can't grow unless we grow our workforce. So their main focus is how do we remove barriers for workforce, and invested heavily in the state has also helped in investing in this workforce center, which is one of its kind in the state, where you're combining colleges with high schools and being able to serve students in a different way that others aren't doing.
Yeah, we were just talking to the Chamber of Commerce president, and he said he wants to see more data centers and things like that in the next 3 to 5 years. Do you feel like Central Ohio and the students, we are in the right place for that?
Oh my gosh.
We can make that possible?
Yeah, part of it's just trying to fill that pipeline of construction workers. And, I tell all the construction students, I'm like, listen, when I grew up, it was, what's your goal? Well, I want to go to college and move away from my hometown. And I'm like, listen, you can do whatever you want. If you want to go to California, go to California. But I will tell you, there will be plenty of work here in Central Ohio in construction for decades to come, because this is the hottest market in the Midwest, one of the hottest in the country, and we're doing great things in the Columbus region, and we're going to continue to see that growth. And if you're in a construction trade, you will be employed for as long as you want to and are able to.
I mentioned this before we came on, that I grew up pouring concrete with my dad. My dad always said, people are always going to need concrete. And you know what?
Words to live by.
And so, that's something to keep in mind, is that there will always be a demand for construction trades.
I'm going to steal that from your dad, if that's okay. It's going to be my next graduation speech, all right?
I love
People
it.
always need concrete.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us and coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, coming up.